the redistricting battles that are playing out throughout the United States. As President Trump and the Democratic Party have angled for control of the House of Representatives, President Trump early this year directed the state of Texas to redraw their maps to pick up more House seats for the Republican Party. Texas engaged in that process. California then responded to Texas by doing so on their own. So on and down the line, it has reached other states. And just this week, it's come to North Carolina. That measure, a redrawn map in North Carolina that would take it from a 10-4 split to what looks like it could be an 11-3 split based on the new voting districts. Again, that is a prediction. That's a prognostication. It could go from 10-4 to 11-3, would add another seat to that Republican Party in the United States House of Representatives. It's up to the North Carolina House of Representatives today, or it was up to the North Carolina House of Representatives to decide to vote on whether or not to pass those new voting districts, those redrawn lines, to approve them. And that vote just recently here did go through. So the new map in North Carolina does become official after passing through the Senate earlier this week and now the House of Representatives, both in that North Carolina state government. That happened just very recently, just before we came on stream. Earlier today, we were listening in to the North Carolina House of Representatives as they went through the process of debating and eventually voting on that measure. And we recorded some of that sound. We want to listen in now just to give people, despite the fact that the vote has already happened, we want to give people a sense of what it's like in those rooms when these decisions are made that impact the direction of your state and your country. So we're going to listen in now to that previously recorded video from inside the North Carolina House of Representatives today as they discussed and debated whether to pass the redrawn voting map, one that many people have described as being subject to gerrymandering over the past few weeks.
Representative Jones. All right. Chair should have addressed this before. Chair understands that folks are here in the gallery today and they've got an opinion on certain bills that are being heard. But if you're in the gallery, you can't make noise, you can't clap, you can't say 80,000 people. As I often say, when you try to shout over them or make noise, you're not muffling them out. You're muffling out the 90,000 people who they represent. So with that said, if you can stay in here and stay silent and listen to the debate, people on both sides are going to debate it, then you can stay in here. If not, the chair will just simply clear the gallery. The chair doesn't want to do that. I don't think I've had to do that all session long, but again, it's up to you. So please remain silent during the debate. Representative Jones, the gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, we're here today because California and the radical left launched a full-fledged coordinated attack not only on North Carolina, but the integrity of democracy itself. And I've got bad news for Gavin Newsom and the radical left. North Carolina will not stand by while they try to undermine the will of our voters and stack the decks in Washington. Sadly, this isn't new. Just look around the country. In Massachusetts, New Mexico, and Connecticut, Republicans hold 0 congressional seats due to Democrat congressional map gerrymanders. It's the same playbook over and over. Well, enough is enough. We have been called to fight back, and that's exactly what this body intends to do. The motivation behind this new redistricting plan is straightforward. The new congressional map improves Republican political strength in eastern North Carolina and will bring an additional Republican seat to North Carolina's congressional delegation. Let's talk about the process by which we did this. As I mentioned in committee yesterday, the House worked with consultant Blake Springhetti. He's from Ohio. From day one, we established clear written standards for how this map would be drawn. We instructed our consultant to follow these guidelines exactly. I'm going to share those with you for those who were not in committee. Number one, data identifying the race of individuals or voters shall not be used in the construction or consideration of districts in the 2025 congressional plan. Draw Congressional District 1, known as CD1, to increase the Republican vote share of CD1 in the 2023 congressional plan codified by Senate Bill 757 on October 25, 2023. Unless otherwise directed, you may consider any of the election results referenced in number 8 below, but you may only adjust the boundaries of CD1 and Congressional District 3, known as CD3. Number 3, draw congressional districts to comply with federal standards for equal population. Number 4, draw congressional districts that are contiguous. Contiguity by a point is not permitted, but by water is permissible. Number 5, to the extent feasible, draw districts that are visually reasonably compact. No mathematical tests are required. Number 6, take reasonable measures to draw districts that represent and follow contiguous municipal boundaries. Number 7, take reasonable measures to draw districts that do not split VTDs. Number 8, political data should be considered. You may use any election or political data that is loaded onto a computer provided by the North Carolina General Assembly. Number 9, an incumbent state member's knowledge of communities of interest may be considered. Number 10, all work to be completed is to be completed at the legislative complex here in Raleigh on equipment provided by the General Assembly. The election contest data in the stack pack for Senate Bill 249, and that data will also be available on the House Select Committee of Redistricting's website, was considered in the creation of the plan. But the primary focus on this election contest data from 2024 presidential race. Our consultant followed our instructions, and the result is a process that has been transparent, has been lawful, and accountable to the people of this state. Again, let me emphasize, racial data was not used in the creation of this map. While we considered several variations of the congressional plan with our consultant, ultimately we decided to proceed with the map put forward by Senator Ralph Heiss, whose members of this General Assembly have heard speak multiple times regarding the details of that map. While our consultant offered input to members regarding the plan, the map before you is the map that was drawn by Senator Heiss. To briefly summarize the plan before you, the new map makes no changes to 12 of the 14 districts. Only the districts that are changed in the new map are NC1 and NC3. As I stated previously, the motivation behind this plan is straightforward. It moves NC1 from a district where President Trump earned 51% of the vote in 2024 to 55% of the vote, an increase of 4 points. The end result is a congressional map that should perform to elect 11 Republicans. Not only does the new congressional map better improve Republican political strength in eastern North Carolina, the new map adheres to traditional redistricting principles and is more compact than the current map by Roddick and Posley Poplar measures of compactness. Now I know what's coming next. The same national organizations that are talking heads who praise the blue state maps will continue attacking ours, not because of the process, but because of the outcome. But the people of North Carolina didn't elect us to surrender our responsibilities. They elected us to lead. So to the national left, I'm sorry your favorite governor in Sacramento miscalculated. Proposition 50 has backfired. Republican-led states are here to make sure that one man does not predetermine the controls of Congress. North Carolina will not be lectured, will not be bullied, and will not be sued into submission. We will not let outsiders tell us how to govern, and we will never apologize for doing exactly what the people of this state has elected us to do. We did our job transparently, lawfully, and unapologetically. And if that offends the left, so be it. Because what we're defending here today is not just a map. It's the principle that stops the deck from being stacked against us. It's the principle that our delegation in Congress will advocate for the true beliefs of North Carolinians And it is a fact that we will send one more Republican to Congress from this great state. You can be mad about redistricting all you want to, but you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself what got us here. And I think then you will begin to realize just how bad the left messed up. So thanks for poking that bear, giving us the playbook. And for that, we will be sending another strong conservative to Washington to represent this great state. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For what purpose, the gentleman from Wilson, Representative Pittman, rise.
Mr. Speaker, to speak to the bill.
Gentleman is recognized to debate the bill.
Mr. Speaker, in my region of eastern North Carolina, we know how to work together. We work together to bring economic development and good jobs, to support our community schools, and to step in to help our neighbors. What helps us to do that is by focusing on our community and its people, not being thrust in the middle of a national partisan power grab. Wilson County is a competitive county, and the 1st Congressional District is a competitive district. I know this because Congressman Davis won the 1st Congressional District and President Trump won the 1st Congressional District. I won North Carolina House District 24 and President Trump won North Carolina House District 24. What I can tell you is when you are in a 50-50 district, you don't waste your time figuring out who is in what political party. You work together to move your community forward, and we need more of that in politics. But here we are. What started as a political power play in Texas has turned into a national redistricting war, and my home and my people have been dragged into the middle of it. This action is further dividing a deeply divided nation, but more acutely, it unnecessarily divides communities when we should be focusing on lowering costs and expanding economic opportunities in North Carolina. My hometown is not just a place on a map to be conquered. It is a community that is home to good people that must deal with the divisions drawn by power-hungry politicians who attempt to tell us who our voice in Washington is going to be. This map weaponizes my community. I oppose it and I resent it.
For what purpose, the gentleman from Halifax, Representative Pierce, rise.
To speak to the bill.
The gentleman is recognized to debate the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, I understand that this debate will be framed in a lot of different ways about maps, numbers, and lines on a page. But to me and to the people of House District 27, this is about something much deeper, about the soul and the shared destiny of Eastern North Carolina. This bill redraws Congressional District 1 in a way that doesn't just shift boundaries. It fractures communities. It pulls together counties that have little in common in geography, economy, and daily life. It ties our inland agricultural communities, where families are working generations deep in the soil, to coastal areas driven by tourism, property, and development. These are different economies, different priorities, different needs. When you do that, you dilute the voice of people who have long toiled together toward a common good. Working people, small farmers, and those in rural communities who have already been struggling to be heard. As we approach America's 250th anniversary, our semi-quincentennial, and District 27 is home to the Halifax Resolves. I can't help but think about the people who contributed to the revolutionary cause. Men and women, white, black, indigenous, Asian, and Hispanic. They fought for a shared cause, liberty and justice, a vision of one nation united for the common good. Yet today, instead of working together on that shared purpose, instead of passing a budget to fund our public schools, strengthen public health, and keep our communities safe, we are fighting over maps that divide us even more. While families are struggling, we are playing politics with people's lives. Folks don't know what's coming next. Federal workers don't know if they'll get paid. Teachers and state employees don't know if a raise will even matter once their insurance premiums go up. County commissioners don't know if the federal government is going to come through. And all the while, we're told that certain programs are being targeted as if they only help certain people. So I ask, who are you serving? The people back home who sent you here? Or someone else's agenda? Because it seems to me that while you refuse to compromise on a budget, on a fair budget, you have no problem rushing to grab power. We don't have to say it because people already see it. They know what's happening. Our duty as members of this General Assembly is to the people of North Carolina, all of them. Let's stop dividing them and let's start delivering for them.
What purpose the gentleman from Duplin, Representative Dixon, rise?
All right, so there was a peek inside the North Carolina House of Representatives earlier. Multiple officials giving impassioned speeches about how they think this vote should have gone on redrawing that district map. We know now that that new district map was approved, a map that has seemed to have the goal, allegedly has the goal, of bringing another seat over to the Republican side of control in the United States House of Representatives. So